Welcome back. It's still Morning Rush on Metro Television. We are live on DSTV channel 277, live on Facebook and YouTube with Metro TV Ghana. This morning, our discussion is based on impact of digital innovation and technology on gender equality. And this morning, I have, let me take my name to pronounce his name. I have Ore Ayola Akanji, who is with RLA, who is Research, Learning and Advocacy Manager, GH Alliance, and also Mavis Na Kole Aye. Okay. It's Aye instead, okay, Aye. Children and Youth Advocates. This morning we are looking at the fact that as the world and society changes rapidly with regards to digitalization, there are challenges, and today we'll look at that, especially on gender inequality. So, good morning and welcome to Morning Rush. We rushed you, but then finally you are here. Yeah. Alright, let's begin with, in today's world, what does it mean when we say that the technology industry is changing the world rapidly? We keep saying that. What exactly does it mean?
Oh, thank you. When you look at the whole existence of the world, the way it's emanating currently, it's just like you are moving from a developmental stage to another developmental stage. And just let's speak with internet. Essentially now there is a huge surge moving from 4G to 5G.
Yeah.
And that's just happening within some like a year, 2 years.
True.
There was 4G and now 5G. That growth alone shows that the world is moving faster. And not aside that, even with technology, I will use iPhone for an example. Before we know it, we have iPhone 13. Now we have iPhone 14. Hopefully, by the end of this year,
15, yeah.
So the growth of technology is just moving and moving and moving. So it's like it's going faster. But then people are forgetting that fine, we are embracing the world of technology. But how does technology impact this gender equality?
Yeah.
We've preached it for a very, very long time.
Yeah. In any way, has it helped gender equality? If yes, how?
Okay. It has helped big time. If you look at, for instance, the number of women, looking in terms of statistics, and you're trying to point it back to about 10 years ago, you'll see that a lot of women are not involved in digitalization.
Yeah.
But currently now, at least it's now almost 50%.
Yeah.
Even though we could say the gender gap is still widening, but then there's been a lot of growth.
Yeah.
And it has helped women in such a way where normally before we went digital, voices are not being heard.
Yeah.
It's been suppressed. But right now when you see it, a lot of voices are heard on there through digital means, technology, social media.
Yeah.
People could pick up their phone and easily convey messages from one point to another point.
Yeah.
So it has helped elevate to some extent.
Yeah.
But then again, the rush of technology, I would say, is also neglecting or is reinforcing the patriarchy norms in the society that we've forgotten about.
Mavis, let me come to you. What is the importance of innovation towards gender equality or gender response in the first place?
Yeah, so with that, we are looking at how, like Ori mentioned, the gender gap would be bridged, and we are looking at the access that the internet or the access that innovation and technology is giving to a lot of women. Yeah. So now you have a lot of women being able to participate in certain decisions because they are online. They have access to internet. You have people who are able to access healthcare because they have access to a phone, and they can access an app on their phones or any other digital device that they could get the services that they need. Gone were days that if you are not able to move from your house, then it means that you are cut off from services. But now, even during COVID, we realized how some women were accessing healthcare using their phones. They could call a doctor. They could also just chat. They could just go to a website of Ghana Health Service or any other reputable institution that could offer them the service they need, and then they will access it. Because we had a lot of, especially with young women, people who could not even access certain services because there was stigma, because they were shy, or because they thought that whatever they wanted was not quite approved of, and so they could not get it, and they stay in their corner and suffer. But now they have access to all of these. We have women who are able to leverage innovation and technology to improve their businesses, because we are having them using their phones, taking pictures from wherever they are, to sell whatever products that they
True.
have or whatever service they are engaged in. And when we even talk about people in like agriculture and all of that, they now have access to opportunities online, and they could learn, they could participate in mentorship programs so that they could also access certain funds to enlarge their businesses.
Yeah.
So these are some of the things that innovation and technology has been able to bring to us. And then also when it comes to people who, yes, there are challenges with people who are bullied online,
Yeah.
people
I
who
was
are
coming
abused.
to that
Yes.
because from everything that you are saying, they are all positive. They are in the positive way.
Definitely.
They are all the advantages. So I was coming to say that then with this digitalization, innovation, technology, are there even challenges?
Yeah,
A
there are.
lot. Okay.
Because we have, so from the recent statistics that I got from UN Women, it was telling us that 73 of the women who find themselves online go through violence. That's online violence. People who are insulted, people who are in politics that are being shaded each and every morning,
Yeah.
people who want to correct things online, and yet there are people who are definitely there, or people who are intentionally there to
Yeah.
abuse them, to keep quiet. So when we talk about people who are abused based on their gender,
Yeah.
they find some of their spaces online just to report their stories, but they wouldn't be allowed because there are certain people who get favored when they abuse women, and so they wouldn't allow the women to come out. So once you come out, it's like this story is not true. They try to
Yeah.
put a lot of things across
To
just
counter what you have
to counter
said,
it,
yeah.
and just to shade people's attention from there, or to get people's attention from those spaces that they could also use, because once you are able to open up, someone else would open up, and then we will start
It
to name
continues,
and shame.
yeah.
And so people do not want that, or corporates do not want that, and that is why you find them abusing women online, especially those that are very outspoken,
Yeah.
and women who are journalists and using online as their portals to report stories also face a lot of abuse, amounting to globally 73% of these people.
That's a lot. Ori,
Yeah.
you add some
A
to
lot.
that.
So, just speaking at it, she mentioned online violence. There is another angle that though people know about gender-based violence to at least be physical, but there is another form of gender-based violence online. So the thing about cyber stalking, the thing about cyber bullying,
Yeah.
the thing about detoxing, like there are various forms in which violence is emanated
True.
online.
Yeah.
And looking at it, for instance, trust me, on Twitter, within a span of just within 2 days, 3 days, at least you hear something about one person notes being leaked online, or the part they're being blackmailed
Yeah.
because of that. So the platform, the digital space now, the issue is about how safe it is for young women, how safe it is out there.
Yeah.
And I remember the Cybersecurity Authority last year did a survey, and they realized they did a survey in 5 high schools in Accra. And of these, they said 38% of young girls online after they have been exposed to sexual harassment.
Yeah.
Online, 38%. It's such that you
Just,
look at
just even 5 schools.
Yes, just within 5 schools. So that's more like 4 out of 10 girls. So it is among young girls,
Yeah.
like high school, not
Yeah.
even looking at tertiary, not going further.
Yeah.
So the issue about how safe, that's it. The negative impact of technology, digital technology, is kind of overshadowing the digital impact.
Yeah.
Even recently, the UN Secretary General, Antonio, he mentioned that it's going to take the world another 238 years.
To counter or whatever damage it has caused.
Exactly.
And even to add up, young women face a lot because there's also exploitation.
Yeah.
So people who do not have others to speak to, now you find a lot of young girls, they are in their homes, on their phones. Even when their parents are around, they can't talk to them. They are talking to their peers
Yeah.
on their phones, 2 people sitting together on their phones. And so they have like people they feel comfortable with online, and those people they feel comfortable with end up endangering them,
Yeah, taking
because they start
advantage of
telling them, do this, because they now trust them.
Yeah.
And so do this. You find them putting themselves online, exposed, putting their naked pictures, send me this and send me that. So because young people haven't been given a lot of information to be able to navigate their spaces, it's also bringing another challenge.
Yeah.
So it means that even though we have them online and they are having a lot of positive impacts, not giving adequate information is causing another challenge for
them.
us.
So considering this, the Ghana Alliance for Young People under the Power to Youth program seeks to achieve something. Briefly tell us what it's about.
Thank you. Currently, the Power to Youth program is a project run in Ghana by a consortium of three partners. So that's NOSAC, who is the lead partner, and then we have Sontaba, also a partner, and then Ghana SRHR Alliance for Young People. So the project basically seeks to give voice and power to young people, and it's targeting three main issues. When we talk about sexual gender-based violence, we talk about unintended pregnancy, and then we talk about harmful practices. An example of these harmful practices is female genital mutilation, the existence of it. So, and it employs different kinds of approach. We are looking at how we could ensure more collaborations between the state actors, that's the government agency, and then the CSOs, and also bringing it around the young people, because the focus is on young people. So in such a way that we are trying to make sure that government, state agencies stands up to what they want to do or what they say they're going to do for young people. CSO, on the other hand, is serving as the agency and speaking on behalf and amplifying the voices of young people. And then young people, they themselves are out there doing the best they can do to achieve that and to make sure sexual gender-based violence is ended and then unintended pregnancy is reduced to the minimum, as well as stopping harmful practices.
Wow. So at the end of this activity, maybe from your side, what are you hoping will be the outcome of everything?
So we are looking at giving power to youth, that's providing information, providing access to certain tools. So we believe that once you are able to educate the young people, they are able to empower themselves socio-economically, then they wouldn't have to heed to certain things that would rather not help them. But we are looking at the capacity buildings, we are looking at giving them opportunities that would help them to also grow in their careers and then also to set goals for themselves and even empower other young people. So those are some of the things that we are looking at, that they would also serve as advocates or serve as ambassadors in whichever communities that they find themselves in, so that we get a lot more young people being empowered. Because we find that because they are not empowered with the information or the knowledge that they need, they take decisions that are not favorable for themselves without knowing. But once you expose them to what is right and what is wrong, they are able to make their decisions to suit them and then in their best interest. So that is how we are looking at getting a lot of young people. So those the project is just going to look at young people being empowered and then also impacting other young people in whichever spaces they find themselves in.
Thank you very much. This one, it's been very brief, but I mean, the message has been cut across and really, really appreciate your time. So this one, we were talking about impact of digital innovation and technology on gender equality. And we've been speaking to Ori Ayola Akanji, who is with RLA, a Research, Learning and Advocacy Manager, GH Alliance, and also Mavis Na Aye, who is a children and youth advocate. Thank you very much. And also thank you for being with us from 5:30 to 7:30. My name is Tanaya Tanobwach, and I did this with Desmond Okrekudan. So